All right, let's see how you did on this extra comma practice. So the first section is transitions, and transitions usually come in the beginning of the sentence, like finally. Finally, we can go to the mall, so we need a comma there. In conclusion, cell phones can be very helpful. We need a comma after in conclusion. Now this one has a transition in the middle of the sentence. However is the transition. So listen for where it pauses. Driving with a cell phone, however, is not a good idea. So driving with a cell phone, comma, however, comma, is not a good idea. So we have a transition in the middle of the sentence here. Let's look at subordinate clauses. Subordinate clauses like when, if, because. If you have a sentence that starts with a word like this, you're going to have a comma in the middle. When my mom is mad, stay out of her way. So the pause is right after mad. If you want to go to the mall, you will have to clean your room. After mall. Because I didn't clean my room, comma, I can't go to the mall. So there are transitions for subordinate clauses. Let's look at commas to separate a series of words or phrases. Remember, we have to have 3 or more. The American flag is red, white, and blue. So we have our commas in between these 2 things out of the 3. I like to play video games, comma, watch TV, comma, and hang out with my friends. So again, I have 2 commas for the first and second thing. My favorite shows are Glee and American Idol. There is no comma here because we only have 2 things, Glee and American Idol. Remember, you have to have 3 or more. So make sure you've made those corrections to your sheet. I'm going to erase these so that I can move up on the screen. So again, make sure you have those. And whoops, let's try that again. All right, let's look at the bottom part. So let's look at additional information here. And remember, additional information are like extra phrases added on. I hate Brussels sprouts, which is why I didn't eat them at Thanksgiving. If you see the word which, you're probably going to have a comma in front of it. There are many substances that can hurt your body, such as drugs and alcohol. Again, if you see like such as, you're probably going to have a comma. Some sports, like hockey and football, require a lot of physical pain. So we're going to put a comma here because this is our additional information. It's kind of like in a positive, which is our next one. Okay, let's look at a positives. Remember, a positives repeat the same information. My Uncle Rob, the funniest guy I know. So we're repeating who Uncle Rob is. He's the funniest guy I know. And again, a positives, they're kind of separated from the rest of the sentence. Jeff Skinner, the youngest player on the Hurricanes. So again, this is the same information. Jeff Skinner is the youngest player on the Hurricanes. James, my brother, again, this is repeating James, my brother, is going to college next year. All right, so that's a positives. Let's look at dialogue. Remember, we separate the dialogue from what isn't dialogue. Marcia said, comma, don't I look pretty? We're separating these 2 things. Please pass the mashed potatoes, comma, we're separating these 2. Now here we have dialogue here and we have dialogue here, so we're going to need 2 commas. I'm sorry, said Sheila, but can I borrow your car? So again, separate the dialogue from what isn't the dialogue. Okay, I'm going to erase these so we can look at our last section, so make sure you have those corrections. Okay, and let's look at the final ones. Now, compound sentences, this is the one that most people missed. You have to have a subject and a verb for it to be a complete sentence. You have to have a subject and a verb. Let's look at number 1. Jim and Lily, that's our subject. We got 1. Are getting married. What are they doing? They're getting married. So we have a subject and a verb. And I'm really excited for them. Let's see if we have a subject and a verb on this side too. I'm, that's I, so that's a subject. What is I doing? I am really excited. So we have a subject and a verb here. So do we need a comma? Yes, if we have a subject and a verb, we need a comma. Let's look at the next one. Ray holds the record for the fastest mile. Ray is our subject. What is he doing? He holds. We have a subject and a verb. But not for long. Now look at this section right here. Do I have a subject right here? No. I don't have anyone doing anything. So I don't have a comma here. There's no comma here because I don't have, this isn't a complete sentence. Not for long cannot be by itself. It has to be attached to this. So you're only putting commas when things can be by themselves. Let's look at number 3. The small dog barked loudly this morning. Dog is my subject, barked is my verb. So I couldn't sleep in very late. Let's see if we have a complete sentence. I couldn't sleep in very late. I is my subject. What did I do? Couldn't sleep. So if I have a subject and a verb, it is a complete sentence and I need a comma. So if you see a conjunction like so, but, or and, you have to have a complete sentence after it in order to use a comma. If it's not a complete sentence, don't put a comma. All right, hopefully you did a good job on this extra practice, and now you can take a second quiz to increase your comma quiz score.